So today I am doing the just are set free through knowledge, part 3. I'm a little tired today, y'all, so bear with me a little bit. But today is gonna be worshipers slash singers and child of God slash warriors. So for worshipers and singers, we just gonna get right into it. If you haven't noticed something about me, I'm not gonna be sitting here doing these long intros. I'm gonna tell you the title and then we're gonna get into it. So it's worshipers slash singers, the topic that we're on now. So, and if you see me looking down, it's because I got my notes on my iPad. So it's slander, spirit of blinding death, lack of enthusiasm, witchcraft, sickness like inflammation, sore throat, disease, etc. Leviathan spirit, occult, Illuminati slash false illumination, rejection, trauma, backsliding agent, and counterfeits. So what happens first is slander. So if the enemy can get you to downplay your gifts through slander, bullying, whatever the case may be, it's both the same thing, because even somebody saying like backhanded compliments, it reads as slander. So it causes you to compromise your gifts or be quiet about your gifts. And then the spirit of blinding death comes. So what ends up happening is it can drive you into a place of almost like wanting to commit an abortion. Like you want to, I feel like people who do abortions are very irrational with the way they think. So it blinds them. So that's what I'm talking about. Like there's certain things you can think of or commit that can blind you. So the spirit of blinding death will come. It won't just be the spirit of suicide or anything like that. It'll be something that blinds you to the truth and the severity and the value of what you bring. Lack of enthusiasm, draining your energy. It doesn't really, it causes you to not really be into it too much. So you're starting to drain those virtues that make you such a beautiful worshiper or a singer. So witchcraft then comes in, then the enemy starts tormenting you, then sickness like inflammation, sore throat. You actually start to get physically hindered. Then the Leviathan spirit can come in, through immorality, just pity partying, trying to blame other people when it really started with you, allowing people to slander you, and then it translates or it transcends into something a lot deeper. Then you may be tempted with the occult and the Illuminati. This is where they come in because they try to tell you you're gifted, you're talented, you have a place with us, even though that place will lead you to hell. And then in the Illuminati, they expect you to worship the devil so that when you enter into hell, you don't burn in the hellfire. You kind of get some sort of, accolade, or, you get a throne in hell because you worship the devil, and so you can still live separate from God and not do the things of God, but you get this special spot, cap. But of course your conscience is seared over time, things like that. People have slandered you, so you just take anything, like, oh, I have a place here, I can be rich, I can stunt on my haters. That's how come you notice a lot of people who end up in the Illuminati or in the occult. They always want to stunt on their haters. They always want to slander somebody. They always want to do diss raps. They want to just harm people. They want to, be vile. Then rejection and trauma comes in because you start to realize, oh man, I'm still rejected. People still don't like me. I should have never based it upon that, because you will never be filled. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. You can't hunger and thirst for people's approval. You can't hunger and thirst for verification, money, whatever the case may be, because it will not fill you. That is a law of the world. That's a law of the world. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Very clean, very plain, very simple. That warrants some more trauma to come in. But this time you done traumatize yourself. And that's the worst part about demonic attacks when it comes to people of God who have gifts. The enemy cannot take those gifts away from you. The enemy can put you in positions where you take your gifts away from yourself. The same way I say the enemy cannot steal your destiny at the appointed time where God is giving you increase, but the enemy can cause you to make yourself be at a different location at a different time. It's just like you're ordering an Amazon package. If you're across the world, can you receive that package? No. So the goal of the enemy is to divert you off of that path that will lead you to receiving the beautiful and magnificent things of God. So you're perceiving, I keep sowing for this and I'm not receiving it. It's because you're not tarrying, you're not waiting. That's the job of the enemy, to divert you. So this is where the backsliding agent comes in, because you start to realize, oh no, this is not going to work. But the enemy comes and the counterfeits come and to keep you in that cycle. And that's how come some people never get out. So the next one is child of God / warrior. And I wrote these notes really quickly, so that's why I'm having to kind of look at them and remember them, because I wrote these months ago. Like, boop, 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 boop. God was telling me stuff and I just wrote it down really fast. So the next one is child of God / warrior. So what I mean by this title is people who are not singers, they're not evangelists, they're not pastors or prophets. They're just people of God who are at home being a warrior in their own way. They're not reaching out for lost souls in public. They're not doing all of that. They're just a faithful and genuine person that God is keeping them in a certain place for them to do what they need to do. Everyone has a purpose and a gift, and some people, I don't know how to explain this properly, but maybe I should say the tenacity that they have, or the capacity that they have, is only enough for their own personal lives. So what the enemy will bring to you is unsatisfaction, ungratefulness, lack of empathy / outbursts of anger, rejection, trauma, backsliding agents, and counterfeits. So it starts off with unsatisfaction because you end up being ungrateful for a position that you're supposed to and have the capability of handling. This is why a lot of people end up being false prophets. They end up singing and they can't sing. They call themselves worshipers, but they don't worship God. They don't use their platform properly. It's because God did not call them to be out on stage in front of everybody. God called them to be where they are. But because they were unsatisfied with that and ungrateful for that, and they lack empathy and they have outbursts, they throw fits, they get angry, they want to have their own way, they're almost like a brat in that sense. It ends up leading them to rejection and trauma. And then they have a backsliding agent and counterfeits around them that push them to keep doing what they're doing, which is going to keep bringing more unsatisfaction, more ungratefulness, more lack of empathy and outbursts, except the outbursts get worse and worse. I saw this guy, he was talking about how he'll shoot somebody for speaking the truth. You see what I'm saying? This is what happens when you are not supposed to be at that position. You are unsatisfied, you are ungrateful, you lack empathy, and you start to outburst. And this was before I even found out about this. So this is literal verification. There's certain things that somebody can do, and then you'll know where they are, if that makes sense. So if somebody tells you they're having warfare of this sort, you can be able to tell, oh, you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be at home. Or you're not supposed to be at home. You're supposed to be singing. Oh, you're not supposed to be singing. You're supposed to be doing this. You know? So once again, it comes with more rejection, more trauma, and then you will have backsliding agents around you to keep you in that position of unsatisfaction. And that's how come the enemy gets you to perpetuate your own cycle through your own emotions and your own feelings, which is highly, highly, highly traumatic. They don't want people to pray, consecrate, and learn themselves